In this tutorial, I'll show you how to do the 3D work for exercise 626. If you haven't already done the 3D work for exercise 626, let me zoom out a hair here, the trailer hitch, then go to my tutorial, tinyurl.com/exercise 626. No blank spaces. tinyurl.com/exercise 626. And that'll walk you through the two-dimensional work to get these two views of the trailer hitch. Let's zoom in a bit on the dimensions in your handout. And I'd highly recommend, once you've got your two-dimensional views complete, leave them intact. I won't take time to explain why, but just simply make a copy of these two views down below or to the right and whittle away on the copies. That way, if you ruin too much of it, you can always go back to the originals. Let's go to copy. Right there. Select everything, enter, and drag it straight down and hit enter. Now, let's look at all these parts. We got to extrude one, two, we have several parts. Let's first join these four polylines together. We'll use the join command for that. Select those, enter, and it's a polyline. So let's extrude it the 0.5 for the plate thickness of the rectangle plate that bolts to the bumper. Let's see, extrude, select, enter, type 0.5 for the extrusion amount, straight into in the Z direction. We're still in the world coordinate system. When we're gotten zero layer current, eventually I would prefer it be on layer solid and a unique color, but I can change everything to the solid layer when we're finished with this. We also need to extrude this, and this, the proper amounts, and subtract. And you'll see that we may have to make a copy of that smallest polyline extrusion twice, once to subtract from the band around the end of the trailer hitch, and and again to subtract from the 2x2 square tube or internal square tube. So let's start extruding. Let's see, this guy should extrude 6.44 minus 2.5. And I should be able to do this by my head, but I'm getting pretty old. So 6.44 minus 0.5 equals 5.95. So we'll subtract, we'll extrude the inner one and the outer, both surfaces of this tube by 5.45. When you close that, we got that selected. Just this outer ring here we're extruding right now. I'll hit enter, and that extrusion is only 0.5 high. So we'll type 0.5 high. Uh-oh. All right, where were we? Extrude again. Let's extrude, disregard the hexagons. View res will fix that, or the straight lines. We'll select both of those, hit enter. And what was that again? 5.94 is the extrusion of the inner and outer surfaces of the pipe. 5.94, enter. You still got the gusset triangle plates and the holes to make. Let's do a 3D free orbit and look at where we are. Now check it out. The rectangular plate is superimposed on that wedding ring or the band. So let's move the inner and outer tube solids and this band in the world coordinate Z direction by the thickness of the plate to begin with. Okay, hit escape to deselect. We'll click move. I'll select the band. I'll select both the inner and outer solids of the tube and hit enter and move those 3 solids out. Okay. All right, let's copy the wedding band solid and the small tube. Nope, the big tube over here to the side so we can subtract the big tube from the band to make it only however thick that is. We'll copy the band and the outer surface of the tube over here to the side. We're just going to work on making the band now. We'll subtract from the band solid the outer tube surface solid, and then we'll move the machined out band to the end of the tube. We'll go to subtract, select the one we're going to subtract stuff from. Usually I say the bigger one, but this is an exception. Hit enter and then select what we want to take away. That would be the outer surface of the tube. Enter. Now we can move this piece by its endpoint right there and place it at that, midpoint right there, and place it to the midpoint right there. Okay, and yeah, we'll erase this guy later. Move, select it, enter, grab it by its midpoint. We'll slide it to the midpoint right there. Okay, let's get the warm and fuzzy. So far, so good. Now from the outer tube, we need to subtract the inner tube. I'll change back to 2D wireframe. We'll hit subtract the outer tube, enter, and then what we want to take away, the inner tube, enter. Let's go to conceptual to get the warm and fuzzy. So far, so good. We can erase this original band. Oh, we need to drill the hole through the tube for the hitch pin and extrude out the 4 bolt holes on the corners, and extrude those, or subtract from the plate those 4 cylinders. Let's go back to 2D wireframe again. We'll extrude all these 4 circles. Let me get a slightly better angle to get them all. We'll go to extrude. Select the 4 green circles from our 2D drawing. Remember, we're making a, whoa, okay. I hit enter. That's okay. We'll subtract them all the way out. I'll hit enter to invoke the last used command, and we'll extrude the fourth one out. Now, from the plate, ooh, I just thought of something. I don't think those cylinders go through the plate. Yeah, they do. That's right. We moved everything out. Let me do a Z enter, P enter. So from the plate, we'll subtract the 4 cylinders. Launch the subtract icon. Select the one you're taking metal away from first. I don't know why I keep sliding off the icons. There's the one we want to eliminate volume from. Hit enter. And the mass or the volume that we want to take away are these small pieces here. Enter. Hit the warm and fuzzy again with conceptual visual style. So far, so good. Go back to 2D wireframe. Now we need to extrude this green circle, rotate it, and put it in position right through the tube of the trailer hitch there. So we'll extrude it. First, we'll place it at the end here, and then move it back and make sure it passes through the entire tube. Let's go to extrude, select the circle, hit enter, make it plenty long. You need to 3D rotate it. Let's click on the little hydrogen molecule looking thing there. Select the cylinder, hit enter, oh snap, and move the center of rotation to there. And we want to rotate it about the green axis, so the cylinder will be aligned with the x-axis. So click on the green wetting ring and type 90. Doesn't matter which way it goes. We'll move this cylinder so that the center of the end of the cylinder is at the midpoint there on the, well, probably better to put it there. Actually, it'd be smart to put it here. That way we won't have to nudge it all the way in the negative X direction. Let's get the visual rendering again. Looks good. Back to 2D wireframe. And we'll move it from the edge of the trailer hitch in the negative Z direction, 2.5 inches. Right now it's centered there. We're going to move it back to here, 2.25 inches. We got move command invoked. I'll select the cylinder, hit enter, and I'll be very careful to polar track in the negative Z direction, 2.25, enter. Let's do a 3D orbit just to ensure, yep, the cylinder goes all the way through, so we can subtract from the cylinder, I'm sorry, the tube, the volume of the cylinder. Subtract, we'll click the tube, which is now, a hollow tube. We've already subtracted the small, anyway, hit enter. Now select what we want to vaporize away from the hollowed out tube, hit enter. Go back to a high visual style. Admire our work. I don't expect you to do the welds. Suppose we could. This last step, before we isolate it and put it on the solid layer, is we want to round out the edge of this band. Now, I didn't realize till now that y'all don't know how to do that. So I'll either fix the handout to avoid rounding this out, or add the fillet command to the handout. Let me show you with the old 2D fillet command. We've always been working in introductory class. You can fillet both chains all the way around the outer and around the inner. Back to 2D wireframe. Click fillet. Again, just a simple 2D fillet. That radius is 1/8 of an inch round, 0.125. However, from experience, I notice if I set the radius now, I got to set it again later. So disregard it now. We'll click on, say, the outer edge. Check it out. Now it says enter the radius. So had we set it immediately before selecting the edge, we'd have to type the exact same value in again. I don't know why. 0.125, enter. Select an edge. Let's go to chain. And is that going to wrap around? Certainly can. Okay, I clicked once and it detected all the way around. Hit enter. So far, so good. Hit enter to invoke the last command, which was fillet. Hit enter to get to the, okay, the radius is still set for 1/8 of an inch. So, whoops, we got out of the select first object. Okay, we'll select the back edge of the band. Hit enter to accept the radius setting as it was. The suggested default is 1/8 of an inch. Hit enter. Go to chain and click on that edge and hit enter. And it detected all the way around. Not very intuitive. I think there's a solid editing tool. I haven't played with it yet, but I know the old 2D fillet command will work. Anyway, let's do a 3D rendering or a visual style. The orbit again. Really don't need those circles, but move all, is it 1, 2, 3, three solids we got. We haven't unioned them together. I don't see a need to do that. So I think we're done. All that's left maybe would be to create a solid layer with a blue color and have only the solid layer showing through a viewport at a 3D perspective, like shown in the handout here. That's it. I'll stop recording.